Well, the 7-1 split is back. The Springboks have named their team for the 2023 Rugby World Cup Final, and they have got 7 forwards on the bench. My name's Max, I'm the host over here at the Black Jersey, and a huge thank you to my patrons for today's video. It is only a few days out from the 2023 Rugby World Cup Final, and I think we've got one heck of a surprise. It seems the 5-3 split with the members of the spine all sitting there on the bench was a red herring after all. It was either going to be one or the other, the extra forwards on the bench or the extra spine members on the bench, and it looks like the extra spine members on the bench is indeed a red herring. I'm going to break down who's in the team, but before we do that, let's just make sure you guys are subscribed and you like this video if you enjoy it. First off the front row, no surprises, that is exactly who Jacques Nienaber prefers to start the game off with, and he's gone for Steven Kitshoff, Bongi Mbonambi and Frans Malherbe. All of those guys have played a lot of test matches, as we can see with the graphic, vastly experienced. But the question for me is, with Deon Fourie in as the reserve hooker, is Mbonambi going to play the full 80? Because when you get to the locks, when you get to the loose forwards, a lot of questions start to be asked. In at lock, it's absolutely fair that Eben Etzebeth is in the 4 jersey, world-class player, the best Springbok of all time in my humble opinion, over Brian Habana and over Victor Matfield, very, very talented player, excellent what he does, and Franco Mostert, the tall timber, is in there to be paired alongside Etzebeth, very, very mobile because he also plays as a blindside flanker, so that's also quite useful. The captain, Sia Khaleesi, and potentially his final test as well due to a few contract things with Racing 92. If the Springboks win this test match, they win the World Cup Final, I think it's safe to say that Sia Khaleesi will probably go down as one of the greatest ever players of all time, the greatest ever captain of all time, because goodness me, not only did he do a Richie McCaw and win 2 titles, but he dragged South Africa out of the mud in his first few years as the captain. Pieter-Steph du Toit in the 7 jersey at the blind side, no surprises, and Duane Vermeulen is the number 8. But on the bench, Oxenchair, going to be very, very difficult to stop him off the bench. He is an elite scrummager and has been paired alongside Trevor Inyekani, who's making his return after missing both the quarter and the semi-final. So it's going to be interesting to see how well Inyekani holds up. Hopefully he's going to be all good because I don't want to see the All Blacks obliterate the Springboks. Over for the reserves, we've got 2 reserve locks in Jean Kleyn and RG Snyman. It would make sense to me that Kleyn is probably going to be the power lock in the reserves because he's very, very strong, adds a lot of weight to that scrum, and Snyman, though he's also pretty heavy, man, does he just get around the park, eh? He's very, very mobile. So it makes sense to me they're just going to be straight swaps. Etzebeth will come off and Mostert will come off. Quagga Smith in recent test matches with the spine replacements in the 5-3 split, he's just been coming on straight away as a number 8. So yeah, he's probably going to do that again. But the interesting thing is that with Jasper Wiese also in there, Wiese being a specialist out-and-out number 8 for pretty much the entirety of his career with the Springboks, it would make sense to see Wiese replace Vermeulen, and it's been Fourie, the reserve hooker who normally plays flanker at club level, replacing Sia Khaleesi as the open side, so it's likely that Fourie is indeed going to replace Mbonambi, with Smith replacing Sia Khaleesi as the open side, and Wiese replacing Duane Vermeulen as the number 8. Philly Leroux, man, that is enormous responsibility because when we get to the starting backline, we've got Faf de Klerk in at 9 and Handré Pollard in at 10. A bit, I guess a bit unjustly for Reinach because Corbus Reinach has been having an outstanding 2023. He's been elite this season, but to not even pick Reinach on the bench, but ultimately, don't you think? Because Grant Williams can cover both wing and 9 off the bench, so that's another problem, missed opportunity, I guess. But with Pollard in at 10, that makes sense. With Manie Libbok coming off in the 31st minute against England, there was no way he's going to get his confidence back. The Springboks have typically replaced, the reserve front row all at once before halftime in certain occasions. They occasionally do things like that, but just to take off the single player when he's performing badly, that really just speaks of, a lack of confidence to me, and Paul Manie Libbok I really feel for the poor guy. In the midfield, no surprises either. Damien Dialendi and Jesse Creel. Kiwi and I'm did come back from injury, but with no game time at the World Cup under his belt, I think it's definitely a safer bet to go for Dialendi and Creel as the midfield pairing. Plus, those two have got the most test caps put together out of all the Springbok midfielders, so you know what? Fair enough. Cheslin Kolbe and Kurtley Aronza. Going to be a lot of pace out wide with those guys. They're definitely going to make the Springbok fans' days if they can get a few line breaks or so. And Damien Willems again. Which one of these players is going to be replaced by Leroux? I guess because Willems can cover both 10 and centre, they're just going to trust Leroux to come off to play fullback, and Willems will just slot in like the true Swiss Army knife into anywhere, or perhaps even Quagga Smith will come off the bench and play on the wing since he has experience playing sevens before with the blitz box. So overall, man, very, very interesting. The 4 scrum halves in the World Cup squad, that was possibly a red herring as well. There's a lot to think about for the All Blacks with the Springboks naming this team sheet. The All Blacks team is going to get names tomorrow at 5 AM New Zealand time, so it's really starting to heat up now. Congratulations to all the Springboks who have been selected. It's going to be probably one of the highlight of their lives if they win this World Cup. And so yeah, even though I'm a Kiwi, I'm just going to wish these guys well, because man, think of all the hard work they'll have had to do to get to here. It would have been an absolute enormous, just mountain load of hard work ethic and determination, so congratulations to the players who have been selected. Corbus Reinach, Mani Labok, all those guys who haven't been picked, really are unlucky, but hopefully, they at least feel like there's a reason for it. Hopefully they haven't been, dismayed too much by the coaches, and hopefully it won't hurt their confidence going forward for the rest of their careers. Cheers for watching this video as well, guys. Just make sure to comment your thoughts down below if you enjoyed the video. You can also support me over on Instagram if you enjoyed this video, and if you can't afford it, you can always become a patron as well. Your support is greatly appreciated, and I wish the Springboks the best luck in the world for this World Cup, because the All Blacks, we're going to give you guys a pretty good challenge, and let's see who can win. May the best team win, and I'll see you later. Cheers from Max.